Hey, we're pleased to be joined in this edition of Talking Preps once again by Chip Darden, the head football coach at Lubbock Cooper High School. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Appreciate you having me again. Always enjoy it.
All right, we're glad to have you. Last time we spoke in April, which seems like years ago almost, what have you been able to do with your team between from then until now?
Well, we got to start June 8th doing some workouts. We had been, since we talked in April, posting workouts and having the guys post videos and show themselves working out and this and that. And June 8th, we were able to start actually doing workouts. Now, those workouts are we're going in 7 groups. With our high school guys, we're going 7 groups of a max of 25. Just our administration took square footage of our weight room and 6 feet social distancing, decided that was the number that we needed to be at. And so we've been coming in different groups and trying to sanitize in between everybody coming through. And, we've spent a lot of money on sanitizer wipes and hand sanitizer bottles. But I think the thing that we found out was that everybody was ready to be back, coaches and kids included. We want everybody to have a summer and enjoy it. But and a lot of times, I'm scrambling to find some coaches just because we got vacations and, want those guys to do that. But, man, we've had a bunch of coaches up there, a bunch of kids up there, just our best turnout that we've ever had. And it's like everybody's ready to get back into a normal routine.
Oh, I can imagine. Have you been able to do anything with the football and as a actual team of 11 on the field?
We can. We can do sports specific stuff. You can't do, as of right now, any one-on-one. So we couldn't do like offense versus defense. But we have decided that we went for 3 weeks there in June, and we just decided we're just going to do strength and conditioning, and then July we'll focus a little bit more on football. So we haven't done any, but we were allowed to by UIL rules.
You mentioned the vacation. Has anybody been able, with the calendar shifting kind of like it has, have you even been able to have a vacation or even schedule a vacation or even want to take a vacation?
Yeah, me personally and my family, we went to a lake to a little family reunion, and then we're gonna try to make it down to the beach here this weekend if everything's not closed down. But nothing too crazy. The places that we're going is staying with family, and not staying in hotels or anything. So that's worked out, and I do. I think it's important. Like I said a second ago, I think it's important to continue to do that. It'd be really easy right now after not being in school for a couple months. It'd be really easy for me to just say, well, we're back at work and don't have summer. But, when we get to August, when August rolls around, our family doesn't really see us. And we need to spend that time right now and that way in August, because we know how it goes there, how busy it is, and just want to have that family time. So, yeah, we've gotten out a little bit, done a little bit of fishing, things like that.
Excellent. You mentioned earlier just getting to see the kids again. Even though it was conditioning, just getting everybody together. How important do you think was that just for the mental aspect of it? Because everybody's been so distant, and then you finally got to have interaction that we hadn't been able to have for so long. How important was it just to be able to have that?
Oh, I think it was huge. And I think that's the thing, that you could just tell the kids that, yeah, they wanted to work out and all that, but they wanted to see each other. They wanted to see us. It sounds kind of funny sometimes, but they want to see their coaches that are getting on them and making them do up downs and push ups and this and that. But they wanted that. And I think a little bit of it is kids, whether they want to admit it or not, they like structure. And so getting up early, at a certain time, 4 days a week, and getting up and getting into a routine like that, I think helps them. I think it helps them to have better weeks, better days. And then, they want to work out too. I mean, they missed football. They missed the normalcy that we've had and that we're missing since about March 13th. And so I think all that, it made them feel like things are getting back to normal. It also makes them feel like, hey, there is going to be a football season, because, I think when this all hit March 13th, nobody thought here in July, we'd still be kind of in a similar boat. And so now I think everybody's getting a little bit nervous about what the fall looks like. And I just think them getting back up there, getting around the guys is making them have a little bit of hope that there is going to be football season.
Yeah, no doubt. As the dad of some teenagers, to have something to look forward to for those teenagers, man, that is important right now. So in terms of what the rest of July looks like as far as you and your team and what you'll be doing, what does the rest of July hold for you all?
So we always take off the week of 4th of July. So this past week we were off. And then we kind of, as we were scheduling it, we originally were going to maybe be off this week, maybe work a few days. There's a couple dead days that were already put in this week. And we just decided even before the UIL sent out their stuff that we were going to take this week off. Thought it would be good for everybody. So we had this week off anyway, and then the UIL sent out that they, it wasn't a mandate, but they just said they kind of preferred everybody to take these 2 weeks off. So it worked out good for us. And then we'll come back on July 13th. And at that point, we're gonna be in a little bit bigger groups, but we're still going to be, limiting. We're going to try to have the kids where they have close contact with, hopefully nobody, but at the most 1 or 2 other people. Just limiting that as much as we can. And then we're going to add a little football to it. So the guys will come in 3 different groups, and they're going to start with a lift. We're going to get a lift and some conditioning, and then we'll go out onto the turf with that group, do a little bit of football. Then as the next group comes in the weight room, everything gets sanitized, and then they go out to the field. And we do that with 3 different groups, and I think that's going to be a pretty good deal. I think the guys, we miss spring ball. And we get an extra week when August rolls around. Still, spring ball was pretty important to us. We like to go into the fall where we've got everything installed. We have a decent idea of who's going to be where on what teams, and we're just behind all that right now. So these 3 weeks in July are going to be beneficial for us just to get back into a routine, install some stuff to where first day of two-a-days, it's not just totally new to everybody.
When is the unofficial first day of two-a-days?
August the 3rd. So in the past, when we did spring ball, our freshmen got to come August 3rd, and then everybody else, the older kids that went through spring ball, would come August 10th. But now, since there was no spring ball, everybody starts on that August 3rd date.
I say unofficial, only because everything's so fluid right now. But August 3rd is the day we're all looking forward to. How long do you think you guys need to go in pads in an 11-on-11 situation? Is there how long do you need to be able to do that in order to be ready for the season? Is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think the standards that they have in place already are pretty good. Whether you start, no matter what day you start, you've got to go 2 days with no pad, and you go 2 days with pads just to get used to them, but there's no contact. And then you go 6 days of contact with pads before you can scrimmage. And I think that's pretty spot on. I think the thing that we needed was this summertime to do some strength training, some injury prevention, those kind of things. That's what you lose in off season. We haven't necessarily lost a whole bunch as far as, the padded stuff. We'll end up losing about 8 practices as compared to spring ball, but that's not a huge deal once we get to August. It's the strength training, it's the conditioning, it's all that stuff that, if you just rush back and put the pads on and go and you hadn't done some of that stuff, that's where injuries can happen, and that's the concern. And we're easing back into it, and I think that's something that we're going to have to do as coaches too, is just, even though we're on the same timeline when we get to August, we just still got to be pretty smart about how we bring them back, how we're not going to do 4-hour practices. By UIL, we're not allowed to anyway, but, we're going to be smart about how we practice and how we take care of them leading up to those first 2 scrimmages.
Okay. So basically, we're really not behind, so to speak. If everything goes as scheduled, everything will be fine for the fall.
Yeah, it should be. And again, we usually will have, you're allowed 18 spring practices, and we usually try to get in 12 to 15, and then you lose 6 in the fall. So the way we're looking at it is we're losing 6 to 9 practices maybe, but that's it. So it's not going to kill us, we don't think, especially if we have a good July and have a good turnout with doing deal stuff. But yeah, the time frame, we got to add one more scrimmage. That's pretty important for us right now, and other than that, it's all about the same.
Excellent. Well, let's talk excitement about the season and not all this kind of what-if game. Hey, Dave, Campbell's Texas football got a special edition, Lubbock Cooper Pirates. I know people around Lubbock are excited for the Pirate season, and this is a great way to promote your program, is it not?
Yeah, this is a neat deal. A program that Dave Campbell's has been running for a little bit. We kind of looked into it last year, and then we just kind of thought, that this was a good time to really honor last year's season and seniors. It was kind of a way that we thought about it. We put it there on the cover after a playoff game, just kind of a neat deal. And yeah, it's the same Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, but it's got a little Lubbock Cooper flair to it, and I think everybody will enjoy that. And you can see that on our Twitter page, and anybody can email me too if they want a copy. Or we're limiting it to 5 per, just to make sure that anybody that wants one has a chance to get one, because we're limited to how many we got. So they can email me or go on our Lubbock Cooper football Twitter page, and there's a link to go register and get what you need. And we have those in, so actually we'll start getting those out here pretty quick. So pretty neat deal. Hope we'll do it again. I think it's a neat deal for the community.
Awesome. While supplies last, so get on that. And speaking of Dave Campbell's Texas football, they've got you all ranked number 3 in Class 5A Division II. Have you even thought about that, or are you just worried about just trying to get the season started?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I've always thought about those rankings is, and especially preseason, is I just think it's a good honor to last year's team, and I think it really, for the seniors that left, that to me that's something they can be proudful about a little bit. We all know, and it's the coach speak, that they don't matter, and they don't. I think I said it in that Dave Campbell's magazine that if we start worrying about where we're going to be in the playoffs and get to the state semifinals, well, we're not going to get out of district because we got a tough district. And so I think our kids, we mentioned it to them. They know about it, but at the same time, they also know that right now it's a reflection of us having a good year last year, having a positive year, and that's neat. That's neat for the guys, and I think that's neat for those seniors that graduated last year.
No question about it. Final thing, talking about the season, there's been some talk of, if we can't start on time, to push back or maybe even go to the spring. You're a coach. A lot of people who talk about this aren't in the trenches with the kids. Is that even a realistic scenario to even think about?
I think it's hard. I think it limits kids that do multiple sports if they push it back. Obviously, the health and safety matters more than anything else. But there's just some things that kids get to experience playing any high school sport, and I think if we start looking at pushing it to the spring, and then you got a kid that plays football and baseball, and now he's got to pick, he's going to miss out on something that he'll never get back. And I think that would be a shame. I think they've got to try to make it work where kids can do multiple things. Because you get to where I am. I wish I could play a lot of sports, but I can go hack the golf ball around a little bit, and that's about it these days. I can't do anything else. So it's the only time in their life that they get to experience a lot of this stuff. So I sure hope it. And that's the thing. We've got the TEA and the UIL. They do a great job, and sometimes I think people get frustrated because they're not giving information early. But I think they're doing a good job. They're trying to wait and make sure that they've got all the information that's there before they make a call, and I think they're doing a great job. They're thinking about kids. I think they're thinking about health and safety, but then they're also thinking about kind of what I'm talking about, that kids need need sports, and it teaches them things, and it helps them later on in life. And so we really hope that they're able to experience that. And, for the seniors especially, that they get to have a good senior year where they can compete in whatever they want to compete in.
Very well said. Very well said. Well, do you have time real quick to play our quick quiz?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. More likely to grill, beef, chicken, or pork?
Beef all day. I do like grilling the other two, but we're going beef.
A particular cut?
Pretty much any steak, but we do burgers too. But my wife grew up on a ranch, and so that's what they did for a living. So we're pro beef at this house.
Excellent. Your favorite sports pro team?
Man, do you want me to pick one out of each sport there?
Or no, you can just what is your main pro sports team? Which one? You'll stop whatever.
I'd go the Tennessee Titans. I grew up as a Warren Moon Houston Oilers fan, and when they moved to Tennessee, I just followed. I just stayed with them. So I say the Tennessee Titans, and then the Boston Celtics would be a close second.
All right. And final one, especially for Lubbock, what is your favorite Buddy Holly song?
Man, that you might get me on that one. He's an innovator that I'm pretty impressed. Like it's amazing to see. I like music, so it's amazing for me to see how many of the great musicians were influenced by Buddy Holly. But I'd say Peggy Sue would probably be my favorite. I had an aunt named Sue that went to school with Buddy Holly, and so we always, I don't think it was named after her, but we always said maybe that song was named after you, Sue. But so I'd say Peggy Sue.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool to have a connection like that to Buddy Holly.
No doubt. I think my dad still has a picture of Elvis playing at Lubbock High School, and if you look across, you can see Elvis is in the picture, and then my aunt is standing next to Buddy Holly, and it's a pretty cool picture.
That is really cool, man. That is awesome. Well, Chip, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Some great insights there, and hopefully everything will get back on or stay on track, and we'll have a 2020 football season, and we'd love to talk to you about that in August.
Sounds great. Thanks again for having me. Appreciate you.
You bet. Thank you, and have a great day.